Good morning, students. I hope last week, we have learned something about the rural development and also the role and importance of decentralization process in aiding and rural development. So the decentralization process, we have seen that three types of decentralization is most important. One is physical and also administrative and also the role of power relation. These three types is most important in the hierarchy from the power move from the higher order to the lower order. That is what the powers and resources from higher to lower level political system is most important part of decentralization. Before going to this class, I want to revamp something and two things. One is don't think that whatever you learned maybe about rural development is something look like a history. But never think that this don't have application or it may not use in your everyday life. But in contrary, this kind of theories, this kind of community development, and have a more relevant than ever. So whatever you learn from this class and whatever you came to know from these theories, so you should see in this kind of the theories you have application in everyday life. So we talk about the decentralization process, and I want to ask you to see this picture. So in this picture, the British Prime Minister. In this picture, the British Prime Minister, the Boris Johnson, when you are walking from the office from the home, on the way, when the common public is pointing in something, he want to discuss something about something with the Prime Minister, and he very casually and look at the body posture and hand action and everything, so casually they can discuss and with the Prime Minister. This is what actually the power and resources flow from top to town. Every citizen can able to directly interact with the highest official. Is kind of decentralization. But you cannot be able to imagine this kind of situation in India, as you know. So even you cannot be able to this kind of very informal talk. Cannot be able to even the local MLA or MP or something is a councillor. But this is so restricted. So that's what decentralization, actual decentralization, is most important and is most effective. Here. And when you are seeing the output, because the government and university asking us to give something useful to the students, but in amidst of all the confusion and all these problem, and we are trying to have a classes and give some output to the students. So I understand that you have difficulties to access the internet and also access to the resources. So this article typically explaining about the online education, and it's the students face some challenges. I understand all of the students and your challenges, personal challenges regarding the internet connection and also availability of net and also the portability and also able to buy affordability, and everything is matter. I don't consider. I really consider for that. So that's what, even though that is that's what we are restricted to only 15 minutes, not for the 45 minutes or 1 hour talk. Just 12 to 15 minutes talk, and in this talk we will give some of the important claims. Using that claims, you have to correlate with what have this kind of theories, what actually have a implication in our everyday life. For example, when you are talking about the decentralization, the last week in the May 8th, the Rahul Gandhi asked Center to decentralize anti-COVID work. So now the government, he complained that nowadays the government have not decentralized the COVID work. So whatever the government doing is only from the top of the authority, the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister office or state government, the Chief Minister, they took a decision, but not consultation with the local people. That's what the Rahul Gandhi asked Center to decentralize. So the decentralization is the most important talk now, and community development and everything is a coming track now. So as an agriculture student and agriculture extension student, you should know that terms of what actually decentralization meaning, what actually the community is a meaning. So when you're seeing the social distance, what is actually society and community. So last year in the role sociology class we have studied. So you should understand this kind of concept have an application in the society, everyday life. And also, I request all our students to keenly watch the print media and social media, and what kind of words or what kind of principle they are using for conveying their ideas. So here, so last when we had a regular class, we visited some NGO. In the NGO, the Madam Aguila, they said that we have attracted with some kind of fund from the corporate sector and also from the foreign. So here, the person, Aswin Subramaniam, he have idea, idea, so the corporate and the NGO, so he has one startup. So those, if I want to contribute to some NGO, I don't know anything about NGO. So I immediately contact this person, and he will, depending upon my need, he identify appropriate NGO and ask and help us through NGO. So he is a leverage point. It is a connection between the NGO and corporate sector. So that's what the Aguila Madam they said that. So that's what the point is. So whatever you learn from theory or practical, it has an application, direct application in the society. So so very casually you should learn. So that's what, no need to have a very leisurely you learn, and please think over every theory, whatever your idea you get from the extension classes or road development, this has a clear application in the society. So that's what corporate social responsibility and NGO, these are two apart, and some startup company, you may be startup company, they have a link together for the benefit of the both. So here we are last class, the Euro development, we saw about the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee scheme. So this scheme is have a clear implication. If you are implementing this scheme, to kickstart the growth, implementing this scheme is most important. That's what last class we have seen. So this kind of article is have shown that it has application, our principles and everything is application in the field. Here also we are discussing about the last in the classes, there are huge the trout or famine occurred in Tamil Nadu. So here 1875 to 1880, there is a big famine occurred in Tamil Nadu, and during that days, the one woman called Kunjarathammal, how they helped the local people, providing some kind of kanji or rice gruel to the people to save their lives. So whatever we learn, so what kind of learning we during this time. So now again also the local people and also vulnerable section of the society, they don't have a food to eat. So it is not a new. So what happened in the 100 years ago, same thing again in potentially happen in now. So now the government provide the food, and the state the individual provide the food. So this kind of development is happen over the period. So how we can find as agriculture graduate, and how we can strategize or how we can provide idea to the policy maker to this kind of things they never happen again, and when we happen, how we can face it. This is most important. So that's what but I want to make some kind of link. This class, when decentralization, last class we discussed about some of the important feature of the Panchayat Raj. The Panchayat Raj is one of the important deliberation in the direction of a decentralization process. So the decentralization process in Panchayat Raj Act came into effect in 1993, and some of the main feature is it is a 3-tier system. So you may be heard about it, no? So in the district level, block level and village level, 3-tier system they promote depending upon the Balwant Mehta committee. Last week you will see about the Balwant Mehta committee. The recommendation is a 3-tier system. So the 3-tier system is every 20 lakh people should be covered in all the states. Is because it's 1970s. That's what the 20 lakh is. On the time the population is very low. So the 20 lakh population. Now the population is huge. So so the same criteria. That's what every area under in any parts of India, so all are covered by this act. And the Panchayat elections regularly in every 5 years. So it is last in Tamil Nadu last 7 years. After 7 years they have conducted an election in December 2019. So by rule every 5 years the Panchayat Raj election should be conducted, and the reservation seat for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes and also women. So 33% of the women should be elected for the panchayat. It is a very important. So that's what the most of the villages we have seen, the woman become a president, a woman become a chairman, woman become a councillor. So that is a very good development. The Panchayat Raj Act itself, they say that the reservation seat for the scheduled caste people and scheduled tribes and also women, this should be coming rotationally. So the most vulnerable section of the society, they have a possibility to elect in the leadership position. So they better know about their own people. So that's what they can implement some kind of development program compared to other people. That's was the assumption. So appointment of the State Finance Commission to make recommendation as regards the financial power to the Panchayat. So here, in decentralization process, the financial power is most important because most of the villages does not have a power to implement does not have a finance to implement this whatever that welfare program. So the committee, the state level committee should appoint some finance committee. So what kind of amount, what kind of the financial support should be given to the village panchayat. That's also financial powers. And the constitutional prepare development plans and district as a whole. So they have the ability to plan as a local plan. Whatever the development activities, they can plan themselves. That are the main features of this act. Here in three-tier system, and actually we know the three-tier system. So we have what kind of three-tier system? So we have. So here the district level and state level, district level and block level, and also in the village level. So the district panchayat. District panchayat is the first tier. The first tier, the district panchayat, and that's have another thing is a block panchayat, the block level, and the village panchayat. Three tier, the tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3. Three-tier system is being introduced through the Panchayat Raj. So again, the village panchayat, we have a president, and all the presidents, and the village level we have a councillor. All the councillor, they come together for the block level. We call the councillors in the block level, and also in the block level councillor, they are representing the district. We have a district councillor also. So that's what we have. In Tamil, we have a Mavata Panchayat, Undriya Panchayat, and Grama Panchayat. The Grama Panchayat, we have electing the ward members or Panchayat president. And in district, in the block level or Ondriyam, so we have elected councillor, the block councillor or chairman. The chairman has indirect election. And in district level, we have a councillor and also chairman. The chairman we have indirect election. We don't have a direct election now. So we only select the councillor. The councillor themselves, they select one of them. Among the councillor, one become a chairman depending upon the voting system. So I request all of my students, those who are residing in the village, all are in the urban area. So you should inquire about more about who is your ward member, and who is your Panchayat board president, or who is your councillor, and who is your chairman, Undriya chairman, and who is district chairman or district councillor. So please consult with your parents and know more about the three-tier system implementing in your village or where you stay. So the Panchayat Raj institutions endowed powers and authority. So unless the powers, some certain kind of powers, through the decentralization process, certain kind of powers endowed with the Panchayat Raj institution, they cannot be able to do the works, no, as you know. So that's what the preparation of plans for economic development and social justice. So they can prepare the plan. So we need to give a sanitation. We need to build some primary school. We need to give a drinking water. We need to provide a shed for crematory ground. Like that, we have proper plan for economic and social justice. And also the implementation of such schemes for economic development and social justice as may be interested them. So not only plan and also try to implement that scheme for the benefit of the village people, attracting some finance from the block level and also district level, sometimes the state and government of India also contributing. So attracting that kind of financial sources and try to implement those schemes for upliftment of rural people. So that's what the Grama Panchayat அமைப்பிற்கு பெரும் அளவு நிர்வாக அதிகாரம், நீதி வழங்கும் அதிகாரம் இருந்தது. அதன் அங்கத்தினர்கள் அலுவலர்களால் பெரிதும் மதிக்கப்பட்டார்கள். நிலம் பஞ்சாயத்துகளால் பகிர்ந்தளிக்கப்பட்டு வரி வசூல் செய்து அரசுக்கு கிராமத்தின் சார்பாக செலுத்தப்பட்டது. So the discovery of India that is a very famous book written by Jawaharlal Nehru. That's what. So the next class we are see about